Hi folks, Darren Chang again, and I'm here to review this pack that I have on my back. And it's a photo-specific backpack called the MindShift Photocross 13 pack. And what's interesting about this pack is that I have this thing in the sling version of that. Let me go grab it. All right, so here's the same thing, but it's in a sling version, so it only has one shoulder strap, as opposed to this guy having the two shoulder straps. And I really like using this little photo-specific pack. It's super handy, really easy to access my camera equipment when I need to get to it, and it's pretty comfortable to use as well. So I really wanted to see if this would even be more comfortable, because I prefer having two straps rather than one. I think that while it's less accessible as a backpack, can't swing it around quite as easily, in the long haul, when you're moving around and carrying a lot of weight, it's more comfortable to carry it across both your shoulders rather than just one. So we'll see. This actually is not going to be a full review. This is really a first look. I haven't had a chance to use this bag in any appreciable way. So I do hope to fill it up with my gear at some point and do a couple of hikes with it before I offer you a full review of the bag. All right, so let's take a look around and see what this bag has to offer, again, just as a first look. Let me make sure that my screen up here is all in focus. It appears to be, and so we're good to go. All right, you can see here on the top of the bag here, or on the front of the bag, that MindShift does include a couple of pieces of webbing as well as lashing loops on either side. You can see here there are 4 of them all together. They do have the quick buckles here, plastic quick buckles. They can adjust in size significantly, fitting any sort of tripod that you might want to put across the front of your bag, or maybe you want to throw your waterproof jacket, an extra layer, etc. If you don't like the looks of these things, they're very easy to remove. You can see they have quick release buckles here at each one of these points. And there also are 2 lashing points here on the side of the bag where you could transfer one of these 2, right to the side of the bag. And this would be a place where you could put a tripod, you could put the legs into the water bottle pocket, have it extend out, and then trap it against the side of the bag. Understand that that's probably not ideal, because most people have tripods that have a significant amount of weight, and so it would feel like you were leaning to one side. At least the weight of the pack would be skewed to one side. But it's there as an option. And obviously you can see here that we do have a water bottle pocket, and this has no problem fitting a large hydro flask, or I should say a large hydro flask, sort of a regular sized hydro flask that fits a liter of water. Okay, and on the other side, this is the access to the main compartment. So this is a side access, just like the sling is. It's a side access bag, nothing from the top. On the top here, you can see that we have a handle to grab onto, and on the side we have a handle to grab onto as well. I'm not going to show you the interior just yet, because I just want to keep moving around and show you the suspension system here. Notice that it does have a full hip belt, but this hip belt is removable if you don't like it. I think I'd want to bring it with me. As long as the pack is long enough that it actually fits my torso. Hip belts are really great at distributing weight, carrying a lot of the weight on your hips rather than on your shoulders. So it makes things a lot more comfortable if you're going on a long hike or a long walk through the city. Like I said, it is fully removable, so if you don't like the look of it or you don't think you're going to use it, pop it off. You lose a little bit of weight from the pack, and that may benefit you tremendously. We do have a sternum strap, which is adjustable, and as well as load lifters on the back at the top of the shoulder straps, and obviously fully adjustable shoulder straps themselves. The back and the interior of the shoulder straps has mesh on it to allow for more ventilation. There's no central area that's cut out to allow the chimney effect to have the heat rise up and out, but I'm not sure if that really has much in the way of an impact on keeping you cool. There are some webbing loops here if you need to attach something to the outside of your straps to get easy access to it. Maybe you want to put a pouch that will carry your phone, or maybe a place for you to put an extra lens that you use frequently. So really, it looks like this is going to be a pretty good suspension system, frankly. It's a step up from the sling in terms of what it has to offer. Not only in terms of having the extra strap, but this waist belt is significant. On the bottom of the pack, there is a coated nylon, and it's certainly going to be water resistant. I'm not sure how sealed the seams are, but it's much more water resistant than the rest of the pack. Oh, actually, that's not true. The front here is also made out of that same coated nylon. The rest of the pack, though, feels like it's probably a 500 denier nylon, other than the pouch. This is a stretch pouch for the water bottle. And all the zippers that are on the exterior are all waterproof, and they're all YKK zippers. They look like number 6s, which are totally fine for this kind of application. So they'll work just fine and not fail you for sure. Let's take a look at the front area of the bag first. So this unzips only sort of halfway, which is not super convenient, but again, I'll have to see in practice if that becomes an issue. It would be nice if it sort of unzipped a little bit more, but then it might dump the contents that's in here, so who knows. Inside here you have a fleece lined on one side pocket that's held with a little tiny piece of Velcro. I'm not sure how necessary that is, but it's there. And then there is the ubiquitous key fob that I never use hanging out in there. One thing you should know is that this actually has, this front pocket area here has its own volume, so it's not going to be competing with the interior of the main compartment here. And in fact, I've tucked away the MindShift Photocross 13 pack rain cover. So this comes with the bag, really a nice thing to have. And despite the fact that this is already weather resistant, if it really starts to come down, then you throw this thing on and you are golden. So I keep that in there. One thing that I do want to point out to you is these are great little zipper pulls. These things, they're like mini ice axes, and they really make it easier to grab onto. If you have gloves or even maybe mittens, you can grab onto these things and zip this thing closed. You'll notice that right here, there's a little garage for the zipper. So that's a nice thing to have. All right, and let's take a look at the interior of the bag. Again, that great little zipper pull, I should say. And this opens up, and you'll notice right on the cover, the flap, the side flap at this point, there are two separate mesh pouches. So you can see through and see what the contents are of these two pouches. I would imagine this would be a great place for batteries, for maybe lens caps, etc., cables. And the really smart move by the MindShift folks here is that they have a zipper that opens on both ends. It's a one zipper instead of two, but it opens on both ends so that you can get access to one of these mesh pockets without having to open up the entire thing and maybe dump the contents of the other mesh pocket. So in a sense, you can access half a pocket or one of these two pockets, or you could go for both of them if you want to, as a result of this smart zipper design. Okay? And then on the interior, we have a slot here that's padded on both sides. This would be able to fit a 13-inch laptop or one of those iPad Pros, the big iPad Pros, and a little flap here to keep that all in there. And then you can see that the interior, it comes with several of these dividers. In fact, there are two dividers that I set aside. This is really set up for my situation. They give you many dividers so that you can customize this to fit your particular gear. I will likely have lenses up here, camera body with a lens on it here, and maybe snacks down here. Oh, one thing to note here, this little tab is brilliant. It may seem like not very much, but it allows you to be able to grab onto it and zip this thing closed very easily. And, I think that that's a nice little touch, just like these cute little tabs here that MindShift thinks about, because they really do think about the active photographer. All right, and then the last thing I just want to demonstrate to you folks is you can imagine if this is on and I have the waist belt held together like so, and maybe I even have, well, this is set a little bit too high, so I'm going to have to move that down. I'm not looking at a mirror, so I don't know if that worked out well, but this would be what it would be like if I'm moving around and hiking, right? You can see it fits pretty nicely. The waist belt does feel a little bit high, so I'd probably need to adjust the shoulder straps to let it drop down onto my waist a little bit more. But if I want to get access to my gear, I would unclip the waist belt, unclip the sternum strap, and take off my left shoulder strap. And I'd swing this around just like so. And then I'd unzip it, grab my camera, take pictures, stick camera back in, re-zip it, rotate it back around, clip back in, and then I'm ready to go. All right, so again, this is just a first look here. I will do a full review of this bag once I actually get to use it in the field. I hope at least that this was helpful. Go ahead and take a look in the upper corner there for a link to the sling, the review of the sling here. And otherwise, please subscribe to my channel as I try to update this as frequently as I can when new packs come in. See you, folks.